So let's start first of all with youth elixir. Youth elixir in Spanish actually means the elixir of youth. And down in the down part you have some HGH hormones. We've included it there so that you can relate it to the previous version of a product which was called HGH, which are acronyms in English of human growth hormone. And youth elixir is not a hormone, and I rarely start talking about a product about what it is not about. But I want you to get rid of that idea because some people are afraid of consuming a product because they think it has hormones. The product does not have hormones. What it does have is nutrition, as I'm going to explain to you later on. What is the production dynamics of the HGH hormone in the human body? The HGH hormone, as I repeat myself, is the human growth hormone. Is a proliferation hormone. That means it induces the formation of other cells, of a lot of cells. It promotes the formation of other cells. Therefore, it is a regeneration hormone because it tends to regenerate those damaged tissues, and that's why it is considered an anti-age hormone. Then, what turns out, as it is a hormone which accompanies the human growth, when we're first born, it produces itself in large quantities. Why? Let's remember that when a child is born, it's around 50 centimeters, and then when it reaches 2 years, it's approximately 1 meter height or tall. That means that the human being in the first 2 years doubles its size, and that is a huge effort for the organism. It requires the production of many cells to double the size of a child. So, in that stage of life, the growth hormone is produced in great quantities, in great concentrations. And those great concentrations are going to go with us approximately up until we reach 20 years of life at this point. Why? Because at that time is when the definite calcification of bones happen. That means the long bones that define the growth in upper limbs as well as lower limbs have a zone of growth which is not calcified up until we reach 20 years of age. If we have not reached 20 years, around 20 years, it may vary because of genetic factors, or but we're talking about approximately 20 years, up to 20 years. That differentiation zone is the one that produces the growing, the lengthening of the bone, and that's why we grow in size, in height. But when that zone is definitely calcified, it cannot stretch itself anymore. So that's when growth stops. The body understands that the growth has stopped. Therefore, it is not necessary to produce so much HGH hormone. And that's why you see that starting from 20 years of age, the production of this hormone decreases that drastically. Of course, it continues to be produced throughout of our whole life. You and I are still producing HGH hormone, but it is produced in very lower quantities from the ones that we've produced in the juvenile and the youth years. And this hormone is going to be produced up until our death. So, medicine has made up strategies to invite the body to produce a little bit more of this hormone. Not great concentration, but yes, a little bit more of this hormone. It invites the body to produce it. It is producing it already, but it invites it to produce a bit more. Why? What for? To take advantage of benefits, the anti-age benefits, the proliferation and regeneration benefits of this hormone, right? So the human growth hormone or HGH hormone is a protein. As we've said, when we talk about proteins, all our body is protein or it is mediated by proteins, is the essential molecule for the human body. And the HGH is a protein and it is a relatively small protein. It is made up by only 190 amino acids. Just only 190 because there are some proteins in our body that are made up by thousands of amino acids. However, relatively we could say that the HGH hormone is a small hormone, just 190 amino acids, where amino acids as arginine, glutamine, lysine, And the ones that you're seeing on screen have an important participation. Therefore, if through nutrition I intake appropriate amounts of these amino acids, I invite my body, specifically the pituitary gland, which is in the base part of our brain, I'm inviting it to produce a bit more of this hormone, a little bit more, 10% more at most. But that is going to have a sensitive effect in the regeneration processes of the body. That's what we expect to achieve. Therefore, as I repeat myself, the product does not contribute with the hormone. What the product does is to invite the body to produce a little bit more of this hormone, which it is already producing through the right nutrients, through the right amino acids. So we have that the product contributes with the amino acids that you're seeing on screen. It contributes with antioxidants because you know that the free radicals are the agents of aging. If we can deactivate these free radicals, if we can isolate them, if we can remove them from our body through antioxidants, evidently that is going to have a sensitive effect in our aging process. In other words, aging is going to be slower. And for that, we've included the Youth Elixir formula, which has three extraordinary antioxidants: a berries mix, which we're going to see next, the resveratrol, and a third one, which is glutathione. Glutathione. So I'm going to start by the last one, or glutathione. I'm going to start with the last one because it is important for you to know that we talk about antioxidant. However, nature has provided our body with its own antioxidant. There is an endogenous antioxidant. It actually means that it is synthesized and manufactured inside our body. There are some exogenous antioxidants as vitamins, vitamins D, vitamin E, which are exogenous. They are intake it, you drink it, you take them so that they have an effect in our body. But our body has an antioxidant, which is the glutathione, and that glutathione is formed in our body through three amino acids. But let's be careful. It's formed in our body when my nutrition is proper. Therefore, that's why we insist a lot in the consumption of protein, because proteins are the complete proteins provided to us by amino acids are the ones that assure to us that the body can produce the glutathione naturally in our body. However, Youth Elixir provides with glutathione as molecule, and it also contributes with it as part of antioxidants that it offers. So we're going to talk a bit more about antioxidants in a few minutes. Other antioxidants as vitamins are also important. Youth Elixir has two antioxidant vitamins, which are vitamin C coming from amalaki and vitamin E coming from sunflower. Perfectly natural, and minerals as zinc and selenium. You see, what an interesting formula. It's a very complete formula which really guarantees the action of a product. Now let's talk about berries or the berries mix. We know about berries nowadays that they are some small fruits of colors. They go between red and blue, but we found that they have the highest concentration of antioxidants, mainly antioxidants. They are the ones that provide with the color, anthocyanins. And for Peruvian, let me tell you that it's a pride that berries have a global dissemination nowadays because in 2019 as well as in 2020, Peru has become the first exporter global wide of berries. And on one hand, it talks a lot about the goodness of the Peruvian soil, and it also talks about the boom existing global wide about the berries. Why is it common? Why is it very popular? Because of its nutritional antioxidant um, functions. So there are different types of berries. They are defined essentially by its color. We have blueberries, which have like a violet or blue color. We have the berries, which are kind of red, strawberries, bearberry, grassberry. We have plenty of them. Well, this mix of berries, which we have included in the formulation of Youth Elixir, provide with antioxidants for all the body, not only for the skin, but for all the body. It's really a set of antioxidants of the best antioxidants extracted from all types of berries that are existing out there. And that unique formulation has been patented or patented under the brand OPTIBERRY. That means the optimum antioxidants extracted from berries, all of them together to exercise an antioxidant action and anti-aging action inside our body. This berries mix has gotten together with the use of resveratrol. If you have some time of fusion, you might have heard about the last version of a product, which was called HGH. It provided with resveratrol. Well, resveratrol continues to be present in the product now in a synergy with OPTIBERRY, and resveratrol is by excellence the antioxidant for skin. Women can say that many skincare or skincare um, creams have resveratrol and they are used for anti-age. And resveratrol can be also used as a nutrient, but there are a lot of goodnesses that have been described about resveratrol, not only about its anti-aging properties. Indeed, this is well known. It is said that resveratrol activates a family of enzymes called sirtuins, and they positively influence the deacceleration of the aging process. That means sirtuins are an anti-age family. But not only that, even though many times I don't like to give this information, but I have to give it to you, it is estimated that the consumption of resveratrol extends life and even prevents the cardiovascular events in people with overweight and people with high levels of cholesterol. A lot of trials have been made in animal models with obese rats, and it is found that effectively these little animals in the studies have demonstrated to have less cardiovascular problems of cholesterol and cardiovascular events when they consume resveratrol. And even other studies talk about the fact that resveratrol is capable of preventing cancer. So you can imagine the power of resveratrol added to the power of OPTIBERRY. It's a really it's a really important antioxidant synergy besides the one that we've achieved with the glutathione, which is another antioxidant that not for being produced by the body is less important. But this is not all. Now that we're in the COVID environment, let me tell you that in Canada, in the Laval University, studies have been developed where it is found that resveratrol can relieve the respiratory problems caused by COVID-19. And it is effectively so. So, as you know, we are just getting to know COVID-19 and the sequels that it actually leaves. It's been with us for less than 1 year. We're just learning to identify it, but we know that it leaves a set of scars, sequels in different organs of the body. Among them are lungs. And in Canada, it's been studied the capabilities of resveratrol in wine because it comes from grapes also. We're, we consume it in wine, is more friendly with the human body, and it is found that resveratrol resveratrol has helps relieve those sequels of COVID-19 in the lungs. So in every single aspect, it's a good time to start consuming Youth Elixir because of the benefits that we knew already and because of the benefits that apparently start to appear to be discovered. It's so interesting. So Youth Elixir is a product that helps for slowing down the effects of aging and its signs, especially at the level of skin, nails and hair, among others. But it's something simple because that's what we see. Indeed, the anti-aging effect happens in general in our body. For instance, at our level of energy and even our optimism, it even influences on the mood of people. You know that throughout the years, we human beings become more pessimist, more negative. So youth elixir and its components, its ingredients, as the different acids or antioxidants have a relaxing effect that helps see things in a more positive way. But the most sensitive effects happen at the level of skin and hair. Of course, it also improves the artery flexibility. Remember that when we're young, our arteries are flexible as a latex hose, but throughout the time and cholesterol builds up in these arteries, they become more stiff, more rigid. Well, youth elixir also helps improve flexibility of these arteries because it contributes with a high concentration of arginine. It's an important amino acid. And of course, this elasticity is achieved with a combination of antioxidants, vitamins C and E, and arginine, and it recaptures um, flexibility and helps improve sleep comfort. Those people who take it before going to bed, they sleep faster. They fall asleep faster, and it's a deeper sleep because the loss of sleep is one of the consequences with the aging or with aging. Elderly people every time have more and more difficulties to fall asleep and to achieve a deep sleep. Well, that's one of the other effects expected with the consumption of youth elixir to improve the quality of dream, of sleeping. As I had mentioned before, the best way of consuming youth elixir is before going to bed, especially if I have difficulties with falling asleep, which does not mean that I have to take another, that I cannot take another stick throughout the day because really it has a delicious grape taste. So right now, I would like to invite you to taste the product.